Hey, welcome to Super Social Club. I'm Jeremy, and today I have a Springbank 12-year-old cask strength. This is the second release that came out in 2021. It is 100% ex-bourbon cask matured. I believe that's the very first time they've ever done this in the 12-year-old expression. How will this compare to previous expressions I've tried? I'll let you know when I know to taste it and give it a mark. Alright, so batch 23. This is bottled on 08/09/21. It is 55.9% ABV and 100% ex-bourbon. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure that is the first time they have done this with the 12-year-old. Let's see how it is on the nose. So, incredibly complex, amazing nose. There's a nice little balance between that Campbelltown funkiness that you get. I really get like a motor oil kind of grease combined with like a minerality, wet rocks kind of vibe to it that blends really, really well. And then you get the other side of it, which is this really sweet citrus, lemon, berry fruit kind of element that kind of just works super well with it. I think the balance is really, really good. Get this really nice sweet icing sugar, sweet honey, and that just goes well with that funky Campbelltown element that this has. You can maybe get like some arrowroot cookies. I get that note a lot. The baked goods kind of element to this is another depth of layer that I think is really, really good. Even make a little bit of like cigar tobacco in here as well. Maybe just touch spiciness too. I mean, this nose is very complex. Very, very nice. Let's go palate. So a lot of things are carrying over from the nose to the palate. That mineral note, the sweetness, that honey, and that citrus as well, that lemon kind of note. Very, very good. Lots of viscosity on the finish of this, and one kind of like shining light that hits you right from first sip is this really, really nice malty characteristic in this. Very huge on the malt, very, very nice and creamy. Very good mouthfeel. Like I said, the viscosity is kind of through the roof on this one. But this is kind of like a stripped down, kind of more raw version. This is probably one of the most, if not the most, spirit-driven Springbanks that I've had. And it really shines through. I think this expression, really for the Springbank fanboy that really wants to try a more spirit-driven raw form bottling, and this just delivers through the roof. Like the complexity on this, on the palate and on the finish is amazing. I have absolutely been loving this bottle. I really took it down pretty hard. For me to drink a bottle this fast is kind of out of the ordinary, but I have not been able to put it down. It's been very, very good. It's a great whiskey to break down, like I said before, because it is kind of like a more kind of like raw, stripped down version of Springbank, and very, very interesting. And of course, I've been enjoying it quite a bit. I get a little bit of like Glen Scotia Victoriana kind of vibes out of this. Maybe a couple notes very similar to that, and I love that bottle and really like this one as well. I think that for the Springbank fanboy, you're absolutely going to love this. If you like that kind of more like spirit-driven, distillate-driven expressions in Scotch, this is going to absolutely rock your world. And if you like to break down whiskeys and really get into it and kind of think about all the tasting notes you're getting, very, very complex. So I previously reviewed the first release that came out in 2021 of the Springbank 12 because they did two last year. I scored that a 90. It was one of the highest marks I've scored a Springbank 12 cask strength. I think maybe the highest. Do I like this one more than that? Well, I really like that one. And I think that I like this one pretty much the exact same. It's just way different. I think it's kind of like mood driven. Like what are you kind of looking for in a pour that day, that night, kind of just dependent on what you're feeling. I think this one is a really good one that you can sit back and really take a lot of time with each pour because you do get a lot of complexity out of this one. The other one, I think I enjoyed that profile just a little bit more, but almost the exact same. So score-wise for me on this, I'm going 89.5 out of 100, just a half tick less than I scored what I thought was my favorite Springbank 12 I've ever tried before. Let's talk price on this one. Was not able to get this at retail like I did previously. I paid secondary market price for this. I paid 210 Canadian dollars. Not too crazy, still quite a bit, almost, you know, doubling what retail is on this bottle. But I was okay with it. I really wanted to try this one. I think for me, for this bottle, to have something that's, you know, never been done before, I don't think in the 12-year-olds, to have something just all ex-bourbon without any sherry influence, to have that kind of like characteristic of the distillate, of Springbank distillate kind of shine through, 100% worth it for me. And I would actually pay that price again. So I'm going to say that that price for me is justified. So I'm going to leave value at 0, 89.5 out of 100. I mean, Springbank, they're just doing it so well these days. I named them my distillery of the year because their core range is just put through quality release after quality release year after year. And it seems to me like the quality is going up. When other distilleries might be struggling to maintain quality, it seems to me like Springbank is elevating theirs. Of course, the only caveat, again, they just cannot produce enough bottles to satisfy the market. Super hard to find. Obviously, I couldn't even find one of these. How to source it secondary, and I think a lot of people are experiencing that as well. They fly off the shelves, you have to wait in line, one per customer, if you can even get it. I know in the UK it's incredibly hard to find Springbank. Some places in the US, not that hard at all. So it kind of depends where you are and your availability to get these bottles. And yeah, frustrating that you can't, but I understand why people gravitate towards it, because it just is that just different kind of profile that you don't get from a normal Scotch whiskey. So let me know what you think. Have you tried this expression of the 12-year-old? If not, where does the 12-year-old kind of rank if you've tried it before in the core range of Springbanks for you? Is it your favorite? Is it the best value in your opinion when you can find it at retail? I think it's probably up there as far as the best value purchase if you can find it at MSRP. Thanks so much for watching, really much appreciated. If you want to subscribe, like if you haven't, leave a comment down below, let me know what you think about Springbank in general. And if you want to support this channel a bit more, you can check out Patreon. Link is in the description down below. Thanks so much, guys. Have a good one.